Today we are taking a look at the brand new 34-in OLED gaming monitor from Asus. This is the ROG Swift PG34WCDM. I know that's a lot, but this thing offers 240 HDMI, 2.1 USB-C, has a smart KVM switch, and is 30% brighter than before. Plus, it looks awesome. So today I'm going to get this unboxed and set up. Then we're going to talk about the features, pros, cons, and how this new 2024 monitor performs for both gaming and productivity. But I can tell you now that on first impressions, this screen is incredible. Now, as always, I will try to cover it all, but any questions you have, just drop those in the comments below and I will get back to you, right? So here's the box. And like with most of the ROG range, we've got all of the marketing and specs on the box itself. But let's get this opened up and see what's inside. So inside the box, we have a quick start guide on setting up the stand and a color calibration print out from the factory. Then there's a branded pouch which comes complete with an HDMI 2.1 cable, a USB 3.2 type of cable, a DisplayPort cable, and a USB type C cable, as well as these little plastic covers which you can use to change the LED logos on the stand. It's actually really good to see a monitor that comes with pretty much every cable that you need to get up and running, something that we don't often see from other manufacturers. Then there's the usual paperwork and some ROG stickers, and we have a power cable and a power brick with the ROG branding on. And then we've got the stand here, which comes in two parts, which I will show you how to make this up a little later, right? Let's get this monitor out of the box. And already just by taking it out, you can see how big this thing is. Now, usually I would fit my monitors to a monitor arm, as the one that I'm using from Secret Lab will easily carry the weight of the screen. But today I'm going to stick with the provided stand, as it gives you a chance to see what it looks like in the setup, as well as how much flexibility it has. So it comes in two parts. We have the metal feet and the rear piece, which gives us all of the movement. Firstly, we need to attach this piece to the back of the screen. It's quite a clever design, as you don't need any screws or tools. Then take the feet and attach that to the bottom and fix that into place using the inbuilt screw. There's also this little plastic adapter for the lighting effects, which I will show you how it works later. But for now, we just click this onto the bottom of the stand. And that's it. We're done. And we can now pick it up. Of course, if you'd rather not use the provided stand and say use your own monitor arm, you can remove the rear piece and use this adapter instead. This effectively makes it VESA compatible and will allow you to fit it any VESA arm bracket or wall mount that you already have here. I'm using it with the Secret Lab Magnus arm, and I've been using this in my setup for about the last 6 months. And you know what? This looks even cleaner when it's on an arm. Now, as far as does this look like a gaming monitor, goes this 100% has that gaming vibe going on. We've got the custom heat sink built into the back, ROG branding, this nice matte black finish, and of course the huge ROG LED logo builds into the case. But even with all of this, I think it gives it that futuristic gaming look, but still looks premium. Now, the rear is pretty chunky with all of the internals mounted in here, but I am a huge fan of how thin the actual screen is. I mean, just look how slim the OLED panel is as we move around, but you can also see just how curved it is as well with the 800R curve. It's also worth mentioning the thin bezels of the screen itself. It definitely gives it that floating screen look. Then underneath that, we have the ROG logo, which shines. That it does have a heatsink built in, but what R have done is create a custom heatsink, and it not only helps with performance and brightness, but they have actually made it fanless. This means it does not impact your experience, as you've not got some hideous fan spinning up when your game starts to pop off. Also, they've integrated their Game Plus feature, which allows you to enable several overlay features to improve your game. Things like an embedded crosshair on screen, an FPS counter, a timer, and a stopwatch. There's even a display alignment mode if you're using multiple monitors to make sure they're lined up correctly. And on top of that, they've applied their ROG gaming AI tech, which provides two cool features. The first one is the dynamic crosshair. This automatically changes color against the background that it's on. This means as you're moving around the screen, the crosshair actually changes color, which should make it easier to see those enemies in FPS games. And then you have the dynamic shadow boost, and this gives you a nice contrast boost during gameplay, making it even easier to see those dark areas. Now, you might be interested in knowing what the connections are on the back of this monitor. Well, it's got pretty much every port that you could possibly need, including two HDMI 2.1 ports, a display port 1.4, and a USB-C port. So this means you can power your laptop at the same time, as well as having a single cable setup, which is so much neater. There's also three USB Type A ports, two of which are 3.2 and a 3.5 mm jack for your headphones. Now, this monitor is very clearly aimed at being a PC gaming monitor with the fact that it's an ultra white. But you might be wondering, can you use this on a console? Well, it does come with two HDMI 2.1 ports, so you can plug in your PS5 or your Xbox Series X, and then this is how it will look. So there are actually three ways that you can use your console with this monitor. You can either stretch the image, which to be honest, I think looks terrible, or you can use it with these black bars on either side. It's not ideal, but if you were wanting a one monitor setup where you had a PC and a console, this would technically work for you. But then there's also a third option where you can use a picture by picture mode. And this will then allow you to have your console on one side of the screen while you have your PC or your laptop on the other. So we know how it looks for gaming, but what's it like for productivity after all? If you're using it on a PC or laptop, you might want to use it for work as well. Well, the first thing worth mentioning again is it does come with that 90-watt USB-C port. So you can literally plug in your Mac or your laptop and charge at the same time. And using it for work is just awesome for me. I couldn't go back to working on a normal screen after using an ultra wide for the last couple of years. There's just so much space in screen real estate. Being able to edit videos and photos on here is so much easier. And the fact it has great colors and that perfect contrast level with, thanks to it being an OLED, you really cannot beat this also. If you are using two PCS or laptops at the same time, you'll be pleased to know it does come with a smart KVM switch, and this allows you to control and switch between multiple PCS and laptops at the same time. Now, not only does it mean you can use one keyboard or mouse on two different devices, but you can actually drag files between the two PCS, and that's when you're using the picture by picture mode. Another big thing we have talking about when using an OLED screen for productivity is the brightness. We're not talking about if it's bright enough, but how it handles the brightness. When you've got a full white page on your screen or you're jumping between windows, well, fortunately, ROG have created a feature called Uniform Brightness, and when you enable this in the settings, it will provide a more consistent brightness level overall. It does dim the screen very slightly, but it means you will no longer experience that harsh owl effect that you often see when using an OLED for work. Also, they've improved the fringing on text with their clear pixel edge tack. Although using an OLED for reading text is never really an enjoyable experience. Oh, and as mentioned earlier, there is a picture by picture mode where you can show two inputs at the same time. So here I've got my laptop connected via USB-C on the left and my PlayStation 5 on the right via HDMI. This allows me to use and play both at the same time. But obviously the PS5 will have these black bars at the top and bottom. Okay, let's take a closer look at the provided stand. So the feet on metal and the main frame itself is plastic. With some ROG Swift branding on the back, there's also a quin-threaded hole at the top for attaching a camera or streamlight, which is pretty cool. Movement-wise, we get the usual adjustments you'd expect to see, like sliding it up and down, tilting it, and pivoting. The only movement that this stand does not do is swivel left to right. You would need to move the entire screen and stand if you needed to adjust this. Although, to be honest, as this is an ultra-wide screen, you'd probably want to keep this as straight as possible anyway. And another thing I like about this stand is the quick release function. All you need to do is press this button and you can slide the screen straight off. Now let me show you the menus and settings on this. So pressing that little joystick on the back of the screen gives us access to the on-screen display. Most of these are self-explanatory things like the input, brightness enabling VRR, and so on. You can even change the LED colors which are on the back of the monitor or disable the LEDs from showing at all. But if you did want to make the most of the monitor, you should install the Asus Display Widget Center software. This will let you dial in exactly what you need, including what mode to play with the brightness, a shadow boost, and the color temps. You can also update it from here as well. In fact, everything that you can do via the on-screen display, you can do even easier and better from here. Then we have the OLED Care Protection. So this uses pixel cleaning, a screensaver, and a screen move feature to help protect it. This can all be accessed from within the display widget center or via the on screen display. Oh, and something else I wanted to mention, which you probably assumed already, but this monitor does not have speakers built in. I would guess most of you would rather use external speakers or headphones anyway, and it does have that headphone jack on the monitor as well. So overall, I think ROG's new 34-in OLED looks ridiculously good if you're after an ultra wide screen for PC gaming. You want those inky black, say 240 Hz refresh rates and the benefit of a KVM switch. This is a solid buy. Personally, I think if it was 1000R instead of 800R, it would have been perfect. But for the size, this isn't bad at all. Oh, and not forgetting, this does come with a 2-year warranty. So yeah, I'm really liking this, and I think ROG have done a great job of creating a screen that delivers on most of the features that we do need in 2024. But what do you think to it? Are there any features of this screen that you would like to see improved? Now drop a nice OLED in the comments, and I'll give you a thumbs up for staying right till the end. And if you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more tech content, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Drop a comment below and let us know what you'd like to see next. See you in the next one.